Vodafone presents the pre-match.
G2 versus Fnatic. This could be a brawl, a full best of 3 for us to enjoy, a delectable treat for us to end our evening. Not sure what my hands are doing. I'm your host, Machine, and I'm joined by Chad Birchall and Ian Sniper. Still forgotten his last name. It's an easy one. Wait, Tina Turner. Ian Turner. There it is. That's right. He's joining us. We do have 2 Aussies on the desk in Sydney. What's going on? No, we don't have an Australian team to talk about. That would be far too much in one place. But this is an exciting one, and I've got so much energy. Good God, Chad, help me.
Yeah, the last one disappointed us a little bit. We didn't get the 3 mapper. We didn't get the dust 2.
deflated, actually.
Yeah, we didn't get dust 2. But Alex, I'm going to tell you right here, right now, we're getting dust 2.
There he is. He's talking about maps, and I'm so glad you did, because I want to try and get this veto done as a bit of a scene set. So you've just said dust 2 guarantee, and before you explain it, I want Sniper to try and theory craft with us. So why is he saying dust 2 immediately?
Let's just theory craft just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So G2, they were on the cobbled train, right?
That's true.
Fnatic, not so much. G2 with the cache as well. They love the cache. Fnatic, not so much. And maybe some desperation in the middle.
There's definitely desperation, and here's the reason why I think that's going to be the case, Alex. If you're the team of G2, you're French.
Okay, let me get into their mind. So I saw them in the gym doing some yoga today.
Yeah, so you're French.
Okay, I'm French.
So you're already G2, you're super emotional. We know these guys are one of the most emotional teams who make decisions on a whim if they're not feeling it. Now, who did they lose to in Marseille on cache?
That's a great question.
Envious, Alex. That's the answer. They lost to Envious. Anyway, here's the thing. G2 would probably normally pick this map against Fnatic because they normally beat them on it. But I think that's going to play into their mindset. They're going to actually not pick into that.
And you haven't seen the veto.
They have to ban Train because they don't play that map, and Fnatic is good at that map. Fnatic are going to ban Nuke because G2 play that, and they don't. So we're going to have those 2 maps as the ban. Then coming in for the picks, it's going to be G2 picking Dust 2 because, exactly like Ian said, desperation, and they're afraid of playing into cache.
Interesting.
Then the next map is probably going to be Mirage, which is a very good map for the Fnatic guys, and one where if you look at G2, Apex has, historically, he used to be the in-game leader. I think that's probably changed now, but he still has fantastic performances on that one. But I would still give Fnatic the thumbs up. And then the last map, I think we're probably going to see Overpass.
I was just at the tip of my tongue too. All right, well, let's have a little look. Let's see how close the Savant has got this one as we take a little stroll through the map. So bye-bye Train and bye-bye Nuke. Whether or not we get to see the newest addition to the map pool, it feels weird to say, but yes, Dust 2 is back in
Here it comes,
business.
Alex. You ready?
He's
Drum roll.
calling it.
This is a bit of a weird one for me. I don't know.
There it is. Look at this boy go. And Mirage as well. He's gone and done it. Yes, we get to see Dust 2, and it's a guarantee. None of that nonsense as a third map decider. Now, you're not sure about the Overpass, Sniper. Do you want to talk about that?
Not really. I just don't know about that.
What else have we got available to us? What else is an Inferno?
Yeah.
Fnatic are partial to an Inferno. Let's find out. Well, G2 are having absolutely none of it, and it was the choice between the demonic cache that G2 have a bit of a scar
I mean, that's
about.
an easy one at that point.
Yeah, but it's just weird kind of that G2 moved away from Inferno. Fnatic are really good in mid-rounds of Inferno, so maybe that's why that decision came in. But Overpass, if we do get to the third, that's going to be a really interesting map because we know Fnatic are really brawly, and even you, Alex, you sit there and you go, why are Fnatic always winning these CZ rounds? This is a map where maybe we won't see as much of that because G2 can lock down once you get the Kenny S AWP rolling.
You did it.
It gets a bit more difficult.
So now I'd like to have some fun. We know Dust 2 is coming up first. We know that we know the teams. And now let's talk about this map genuinely in a professional environment, offline. What questions need to be answered by the end of this map?
Can we establish this for everybody playing at home?
Yeah.
We literally have 0 sample size. This is the first time in a competitive environment that Dust 2 is being played since its reintroduction to the pool. I've been speaking to the teams at breakfast, and I was saying, hey, who's been playing this map? Well, I've heard Astralis have been playing it, and they've been looking pretty hot. Fnatic said, you know, they tried to dabble with it, but they didn't have enough time to practice it to any, you know, decent level. I would say G2's in the same boat. They didn't even know they were coming here until 2 days before the event. This is why I think it's a desperation pick. Now, we know the layout of the map is exactly the same. It's just been reskinned. I'm just going to be looking for trading. There's not going to be any crazy gimmicky strats. It's just basics.
So I had a conversation with Jumpy, actually, this morning. We were talking, I think you were there as well. We were talking about this in the gym, and he was talking a little bit about the fact that Dust 2, though it hasn't changed in format, though admittedly you could just copy and paste some strats from the strat book, what you don't realize is not only have smokes, nades, and all your lineups changed, but also some of the pacing of the map will have changed, and your angles. Like, so you know how when you play a map Sniper, if you've played Cache, you know, thousands and thousands of times, the way you clear angles, the way you approach your crosshair placement will be very rinse and repeat. That's going to be thrown a bit out of whack.
Yeah,
right?
well, there's this new car at Long, which has a
Yes, of
pretty
course.
huge. I mean, that's going to be a huge dynamic. I think also that car introduces everything for when you cross to pit as well as the T side. So even if you do get Long, which seems to be like a foregone conclusion now, you kind of have to give it up if you're a CT. And you get across to pit, well, you've got to deal with this car position, and then also for retakes, it's going to be a big deal. Also, the B bomb site is very narrow now. It's very hard to get in or out of there. So yeah, these teams it's going to be a slogfest.
It's going to be a slogfest. Let's leave it there because I just cannot wait. dust2, our first map, the debut of the map. The fist bumps are in. Let's introduce your casters. It is none other than Lozdog and J-Daddy. They're hot to trot. Let's see what they've got.
Ooh, that was good.
Is nice. Yeah. I'm down for that. Sure, give me a bit of that. Now, you know what?
What's that, Lauren?
dust2.
I know you're excited.
I hate the map personally, but I do like the concept of French teams on this one against Fnatic. Two teams who are genuinely very good at this. The double stack on towards short means that Mixwell actually comes out the best, and it's just a hitman squad going up there right now. JW's going to get the chance to fall back. Plays to the player on the site now, so that's the next kind of fallback piece. At the moment, though, you've got to give credit where it's due. G2 are just bulldozering their way forward. They're not stopping for anyone. The bomb's en route. It didn't drop down. They're still playing smart. Got to play deep on the push-up. When you come up cat, you don't want that falling into CT. And it's retake time.
Yeah, miscommunication from Flusha and JW in the defense there. Flusha was abandoned, and there's the opening kill from Body. They're holding on a catwalk. That smoke is going to force JW away. He finds the timing on the spam, though, and it's all down to this flank from Lekro. He's got to take the attention away, but JW, of course, still coming through the smoke to his death, and that should seal the pistol round. Bomb planted for catwalk as well. That's a nice follow-up headshot. All of a sudden, a one-on-one, and Lekro can do it! He does! It's miraculous, and he's got a kit, he's got time, and he pulls it out of nothing.
All right, dust2, welcome back to the map pool. I'll give you that one. I'll let you have that. That wasn't bad at all. Nicely done by Lekro. The jumping USPS, it gives me flashbacks to Nama, you know what I mean? It's like, no. But what was going on here? What an absolute travesty between Apex and Kenny S. And then this. God. He does get on the box. It wasn't full, let's say, that moment that happened at that event, but...
the one that will never be spoken of.
Exactly. The Voldemort of plays. But... ah, man, this is going to be fun. I think it just becomes a very brawling matchup that plays so well now to both of these teams, especially the styles that they're bringing out at the moment. I don't know what to expect from G2. I really don't.
Listen, you'd hope they at least clean up that kind of a pistol round. That should have been unlosable.
That should have been locked down.
There's no reason for those two players on catwalk to be challenging in that fashion. You have the bomb planted for you. You don't need to be peeking. And yes, it still took some incredible shots, but that's always the case in those kind of 1 versus 3s. Like, obviously there's going to be misplays, but you still have to have an incredible performance to pull it off. And Lekro does just that. And now G2 would have loved to have had that pistol round. And what a Fnatic way to win a round. Flush is going to fall. Another plant going to come in, which is great for G2 because they're going to be buying in the next round no matter what. And any kills they get after this is just gravy.
They're all dead, JW. They're all dead. But yeah, not bad. Good work coming out from G2 just to get the plant there, if I'm honest. And 2 kills to boot when they had, I think, maximum invested was like a P250. So good work from them, considering 3 alive on the other side for Fnatic. And as I said, speaking to the teams thus far, I know that FaZe have been playing it a little bit. I know Astralis have been playing it, and I think that as a matchup would be fun. I know they can still run the strats that they used to. That's still in the wheelhouse. They said the one thing that does change is literally smoke lineups.
Yeah, I was
to
gonna
them,
say,
it's not much else different, really.
Most of the play style can probably be pretty similar, which means they should have an easy time kind of readjusting. It will just be some of those nade lineups that maybe aren't as polished, so that might prevent some of the old kind of tactics running out. But the theory, the fundamentals of the map is still very much going to be similar.
We do see the purchase coming in from G2. Of course, the bomb plants, decent kills. They've actually got a really quite a nice buy. Probably very much up there with Fnatic's, considering there is the AWP on Kenny S. And dust2, always a bit of an AWPer's paradise. It can be. Some plenty of opportunities. Golden trying to be dominant towards long here. Not giving this up for free, and it does kind of alleviate some of that pressure, allowing the rest of the Fnatic guys to maybe focus more towards mid. That's something I'm really interested about, to see how these kind of teams remember playing this. Short control being vied for, as well as Mixwell gets reminded that you can't just take that for free. There is a lot of fight to be had here. And the T's, it is that kind of like back and forth pull of, okay, what is our territory? What can we play with? The mid to B smoke getting put to play. That's going to just drop down towards the CT side. Let's see if the lineup's good, but JW is just ahead of it. That's a huge error. And great support coming in from Crims to allow Apex to go down, keeping JW alive as Lecro just stems the bleed and the push towards B. The smoke does not allow for the play for MBK. The spray is decent as well coming in from the CT side. And with 5 alive and them closing in, MBK would have to do something beyond belief to get out of this one.
Oh, we saw it from Lecro. This is a little bit of a different scenario. That's a nice headshot onto Golden. I mean, this is a very sloppy start for G2 in this map that kind of pushed through those mid double doors. Obviously goes the exact opposite of how G2 would have liked it. The blunder on the pistol round as well. Lecro with the off angle. Gonna close things out. 3-0 quickly for Fnatic off the back of some sloppy play from G2 early on, which is, I mean, that's scary. No matter, even if you are prepared, I mean, this is one. Famas Kenny looks like he doesn't even really know where the player is. And then Crims coming in with a backup to support JW, and that's an easy sequence for Fnatic. And that's kind of the exciting thing is this map, I mean, you can kind of have so many different play styles with it, but I mean, obviously known for being a map where Oppers can thrive. So if you're G2, you're going to be happy about that with Kenny S. And it's a map where individual plays can be made. And if you're Fnatic, you're going to really, really love that one as you get guys like Flusha and JW out into open spaces, and they can really wreak havoc. So some cool strengths for both of these sides, and we should see a pretty back and forth affair once things get settled in.
Yeah, I think the one thing I'm interested in is mostly how the T side now tries to cover up this map, if they still get away with the same control they used to. If these teams have even played it, like, I don't know how much G2 have played this. I know Fnatic have given it a go. I didn't get to speak to the G2 guys too much about this one. I don't know where they're at on it. We all know they used to love a bit of Dust2. That any French team liked a bit of Dust2. It just played so well stylistically towards them.
Yeah.
And Fnatic as well. I don't know if they've put in the hours yet as a collective. Obviously, every individual player knows what they're doing. They can still kind of just run the same stuff. But is this a rush B? No, surely not.
Listen, we can't be treated to all the goods right off the bat.
No.
You know,
Tease us a little.
1 versus 3 and then a B rush, that's just too much to ask for. Yeah.
All right.
It is going to be like a B contact rush. It looks like all 4 players lined up. NBK just throwing some light utility out mid just to keep those 2 players there, and he's done just that. It's Crimson JW in mid, but it's going to be Lecro at the back of the B platform. The smoke covering their push so far. He's just going to spray right through. Lecro is on a tear to start out this map. Crims is going to grab Apex at the end, but 4-0 for Fnatic. A pretty quick 4-0, and Lecro's at 8-0.
He's having a game.
He's loving it.
Yep. Bit of a Dust2 boy.
When you have a pistol round like that, it can be relatively easy to transition into a nice half.
Oh, it gets you going. Like, I think it was Freiburg who used to, it was one of the players who said it like really early on, that sometimes certain players will benefit from either, you know, getting the eco kills or getting just the early frags. If you get going early, you just feel like the game's yours, right? You start feeling out the game so much quicker, and it's just that mental build-up. Lecro could just be having that, like, he's dealt with that well. These rounds, like, what, the first one was a pistol round that was really good. Can't take anything away that round. Obviously, it was upgraded pistols, bit of pieces here, but still, what I'm looking at is the fact we get JW against Kenny S on the AWPs here. Such a fun battle coming through.
It's vintage, isn't it? JW just gets his head taken off. NBK with a double. This round very quickly in the favor of G2, a 5-on-2. Now this is one, when you look at the context of the pistol round and the follow-up, the first gun run they had in round number 3, they obviously cannot lose this one. And NBK, as Henry would say, is not really known for his opping. And at least forced Flusha away. And the rest of G2 going to follow up, and Fnatic now have to scramble to get into position to try and save these weapons. Going to try and bunker down in that B bomb site. The rotation or the retreat through the B tunnels is cut off by Body. Apex challenging out towards window. 2 AKs for the CT side, and I think they're going to wait for the rest of the teammates to really get into position before they start pressuring this. Now, G2 has to be careful they don't lose too much. They can risk a little bit, obviously, with 5 players still alive, but they can't lose too many. They have to build up that money. Molotov in the back. Apex doing his due diligence, clearing out certain positions. That'll allow Body to get a deeper angle in towards platform if he wants it. And you can see, yeah, G2, they didn't get what they wanted. They didn't feel too comfortable trying to attack that bomb site and just going to back away.
Just remember, just keep it in the back of your minds. On this map, at least the original version, there was that graffiti put at the very top, the Fnatic firing squad. That was up against Envious, bear in mind. That was at ESL 1 Cologne on dust2. So these two, as said, have that history. It's such a fun battle to watch. That's why this is such a fun map to consider coming back through for these guys. And right now, Fnatic showing a good performance, but MBK that round just kind of reminded himself that, nah, we're still in this. It's still a good, opportune moment for it. Hopefully we get to see that graffiti come back on those walls.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I didn't even notice that. I'd be pissed if I was Fnatic.
Hey, we did this.
I'd be like, give it back right now.
Mixwell going to go for a quick play, or at least an attempted play towards long. No one's actually there challenging it right now. Fnatic backing away, going for the double stack towards short instead.
This Fnatic's going to challenge. They want to get that pick towards underneath and not going to connect the shot, just fall away. Apex gets away with one nice follow-up nade. Flusha, usually the master of nades, fluffs that one. And JW and Crims being, especially JW, being very mobile on how he rotates and obviously sticking together to take control of mid. And there's that ult from Kenny S chiming in. Would love to see that heat up, and JW's as well. The swipe down takes out the opposing ult. But Apex is going to challenge a little bit more, keep JW pinned down, but you can't do it to that guy. He's going to come right through, and he makes the mistake. Doesn't clear everything, and the B bomb site is taken from there. No more defense for Fnatic on that side of the map, and again, two players might just have to be forced into a save scenario.
If they can. Flush has found Apex. Traditionally, the B site retake was one of the hardest in the game. Let's not forget, retaking B, even with utility, they only have one flash on Flusher, is still so difficult. It's one of those that you just don't get if you aren't, right on the door. You don't get that first kill. Now, G2 have actually recovered 2 AWPs as well.
Especially, I was going to say the other thing is G2 with those AWPs, Fnatic will obviously know they have one in their hands. But with the distance, one player at top mid, that's NBK, looking for the peek from Catwalk, and he gets it with ease. And then Flusha, if he wanted to kind of attack that B bomb site, look at the other angle being held by Mixwell. A lot of opportunities for those ops to get the picks. A second round for G2 on the board. There's still money built up. We're going to see another buy at a Fnatic. Flusha can drop over an AWP, obviously. And they should be in a pretty solid position.
Money-wise, pretty good all around now for G2. Looking quite comfy. Other side of things, trying to spread that wealth. Minimal amounts, but still a good purchase to be shuffled through. You can see the utilities there. They've managed to get everyone up on what they need. JW still got the AWP, got the armor. Everyone's pretty good. They still have the kits too, so we'll see if that firing squad excuse me, does come out. No one caught on the cross there. Again, not sure if the timing's exactly the same on that. I'm sure someone's done the videos, but already MBK just straight up taking out long. Not going to be messing around at all here. I think it looks like G2 are starting to work this out, and there's one of the new positions that are going to be very annoying to work your way out of, but Flusha keeps control at least until then. He spots out one, but the angle's just too tricky. Golden holding off on long, but it's JW putting in the work. 2 kills back-to-back towards short. High flash from Kenny, but he needs to get himself working into this. A 1v3 is no small task, especially with that player on site, but the game's given away. Golden shows position, smoke goes up. Kenny looks for that option, looks for that kill, and now it's been spotted out. The plan's been noted. He was dying for that kill to come through to give him that second to break free. But it wasn't to be as Golden puts his foot down, and that was JW really locking things out.
He was doing great. It actually seems like coming through the smoke. Mixwell, obviously tough angle, but Apex, it seemed like he had a, from our glimpse at least, it seemed like he was through that smoke, but maybe just not quite on his screen. Took him an extra second before he realized where he was. It's interesting to see Fnatic mount this defense. We saw it on the pistol. We're seeing it. We saw it again in that round. Mounting defense on Catwalk. I mean, towards the later stages of the older dust2, you really saw teams shy away from Catwalk. It's a magnet for nades. There's a lot of different set pieces and sets, smokes and flashes that can really screw with your defense there, and it's not necessarily a great place to really battle. Teams choosing to give it up. JW is doing a phenomenal job with this op early on for Fnatic. Another opening pick for Mixwell trying to push through. Would be great if G2 could establish some kind of control and ability to consistently take long, but not happening quite yet. And now JW with another rotate. High flash, they're going to blind him, and Apex spots him out right through the corner of the box. And that's the sign, the opera there, that there's likely only one defender. It's a retake after you get that one player.
Look at the bomb.
Ooh, yeah, back in T-spawn. This is going to take some time. We'll allow Flusha a chance to apply some pressure. They're still going to have to take care of Golden.
MBK's aware of this. At least he's being diligent about the approach. Golden's given away the game here. MBK could be the executioner. It looks like he is. From up above, drops down, job done. That A site is under wraps. The last 3 players to mount this retake. It has potential. Short is very available. But you've got a lot of players standing in your way. You're going to need Let Crow to hit some absolute bangers in this one. One flash One nade and one smoke now. All they got to work with, and
They're
I
gonna
think,
save.
yeah, good call on this one. Bit locked out, bit too tricky. And really, they need to keep these guns.
Slow on the response once JW goes down to that A bomb site. It's just you almost it's really awkward because Golden is just like a timer on his life, right? He's pinned down in the pit, so he can't properly clear out towards double doors, and he's just kind of waiting to get flanked out. Really tough scenario for him to be isolated for that long into the round, and Fnatic not able to force any kind of positioning out towards mid, out towards those B halls. You got to take over one of them and start getting in on the retake to alleviate some of that pressure for Golden. Doesn't happen this time, so G2 fighting to a third round. Ops dictating a lot early on for Fnatic at least. Kenny's actually been relatively quiet. He had that one pick off on Crims in mid, and haven't seen that op ring out for G2 too frequently.
No, we haven't. Kind of hoping that becomes a factor. It's just the idea of it is always a really tantalizing prospect, isn't it? But in reality, may not be the case. 3 to 5. Of course, this is a best of 3. Keep in mind, this is, you know, a bit of a surprise pick. I think I didn't expect it to a degree to be played out this early between these guys. I know Fnatic probably will be fighting for this, but I don't. You know, again, G2's a bit that unknown quantity to me. So let's see what the T side bring into this one.
G2's an unknown quantity for everyone, depending on the tournament they come into. You never really know what's going to happen, so always exciting in that regard. Great nade from Flusha. Chip damage onto Apex, going to soften him up. Fnatic have once again established Golden out towards long to be the sole defender there as JW has rotated back. Oh, and you love to see this.
It sounds kind of nice, though. I don't know why, but I kind of like the sound of it.
ASMR?
Yeah. I'm really into gun ASMR. I'm pretty sure that's just Stunner. You know what I mean? He just sits there and loves it. All right, Molly up towards Cat. It's going to slow down the T side for a second or two, and it is about buying time, keeping those options limited. I'm having my, you know, my mind just being kind of rewinded back to the old Na'Vi days of the slowest hits in the world coming up Cat. And it's definitely viable. Look at that utility still on G2. They have kept that very, very close to chest, but Golden, this Deagle could do some damn good damage. Kenny is there. They're all there. There's 3 of them lining up. If he just gets this first one, it could have all come undone, but no. Well checked by Mixwell. Crossing the T's, dotting the I's. Flusha plays out in front of the Molly, but he gets dealt with as well. This hit is very well constructed from G2. They are going through all of the motions required, and Apex fancies a bit more. He's going to drop down there. Got to be careful. He caught a bit of the flash, maybe more than he'd want to, but he's still safe, still alive. The flash will play him in, but Crim's going to find MBK, but it's Apex having his way with the Swedish side.
Yeah, Fnatic, this defense, I mean, we know they like to play a little bit more of an individual style. You can't really do it in these scenarios. Golden all alone with the Deagle out towards long. You've got Flusha in the A bomb site alone at Goose with an M4. As soon as one of those players go down, it doesn't really matter which one. They're going to be outmatched in pretty much any fight that they're presented with, and as soon as one goes down, the other is just kind of screwed. He's got nothing to do. You could see Flusha there forced to make an aggressive play to try and defend Catwalk because he knows he's getting pinched from long as well. And just no real options available to him to play back into that round. So finally, 9 rounds in, G2 have done it. They've broken the economy. There's still 2 M4s on the Fnatic side. But they should have an easier time of things in the next few.
And now, obviously, just Crimson Let Crow be able to retain. Money looking real nice now for a couple of players. Apex is looking very well set. 7k there. Kenny on 6. Always nice. Bit of a block at the start, but no problem. No harm, no foul. Kenny might have the spawn for maybe a quick little look towards B. Does seem as though that's the case. You go beat him to the cross. Lekro's holding a bit of a deep angle here, though. And this is the mind games. These are the battles. These are the ways you play it out. Lekro's already lined up on this. He gets the tag, but not the frag. It's body to trade back in. And that's B looking quite open now. It looks like, I think I heard maybe a pause being called on that one. I'm not sure. But regardless, Molotov goes up towards window. The spam towards the door. And the bomb's en route. You do have a couple of players trying to make something happen, but keep in mind it's only Crims who has another rifle. So their options are very limited.
A flank coming in as well. Yeah, there is, but a flank's coming in, so even if they don't get obliterated there, it was only a matter of time. And BK lurking in mid. I think that typing you heard was likely a nice shot, perhaps, from Kenny.
It could have been. I'm hoping for that, rather than the
nice immediate wreckage of my face, Lekro. JW would love to assassinate one, obviously, and just steal that weapon right at the end. I don't think he'll be presented with the opportunity. I'm not even sure the bomb race. I don't even think they'll have to push out of B tunnels, but still clearing some things out. Body's gonna look the wrong direction, and there it is. JW does find one, down very, very low, 30 HP. Mixwell has an op though, so maybe not the easiest shot. He actually misses it. JW is gonna get away. He's gonna tap away at the head. That's an awkward fight to take. It's NBK to shut this down, wrapping around, and this is actually pretty big deal, all things considered. A free AK-47. Oh, nice shot from JW.
That was big.
That was gorgeous.
You into it?
I was real into it.
You could have seen your eyebrows then. There was a lot of emotion
There was an eyebrow
going on.
raise,
Yeah, there was a lot. But the money's still robust. There's nothing that is going to hinder G2 in that aspect for now. Still 2 players sitting up towards 8k almost. On the other side, this is a good purchase though, coming back in for Fnatic. They do have that utility now there. They've got a kill on Golden. Things aren't looking too bad all in all. A 3-man stack towards Long from the CTs though. This could bode pretty poorly. Apex is out there. He's burning alive from the Molotov. He does go down to Golden, who kind of puts him out of his misery more than anything. Mixwell receives a hell of a lot of damage, and Fnatic are taking the fight to G2 finally. They're not going to give up that map territory. 2 players instantly fall back, understanding the push and the pull that G2 want to do. Maybe considering a quick play up short could have caught them off guard, but no, G2 have changed their minds.
This is a good response, though. Very convincing, very fast-paced take towards Catwalk. You know, 3 players out towards Long. Kenny was waiting for that play, and Flusha over-eager, and a nice headshot from NBK to build. They brought it back into a 3-on-3, and the dangerous part for Fnatic at this point, Golden does have this flank, but a lot of open space and a lot of time for Kenny, but they have a great read. Everyone from Fnatic leaning towards this B bomb site. Great frag from Lecro. Kenny jumping up, and he's going to survive, allow JW to get here, and that's the defense. That's the mobile defense we like to see from Fnatic, and they've got a 6th.
Golden pushing up, he knew where players were, where they weren't. The information was spread through, and as you highlighted, a very, very quick adjustment from Fnatic to get themselves set up towards B to just be ready for that hit.
That round is like, I think every entry fragger, that everyone who's ever played an entry fragger role for a team is going to feel for Apex that time. I think he was just maybe a half second off of that timing, had to run through the flames, had to get blind and try and run through and get naded. His teammates are cut off by the fire, so he's just left alone to die. That's one of those times being an entry fragger, the idea just doesn't pan out, and you're left to hung out to dry. You're left to look silly on the stream. And really, really tough scenario for him. But I like the response from G2. Once they realize, once Apex calls it out, there's 2 to 3 players at Long. NBK tries to get up Catwalk as fast as possible, realizes he doesn't have the timing, so he backs off and tries to go through mid. And they found the trades, and they found some kills in that direction, which gave him a possibility. But Fnatic just 1 step ahead.
Bear in mind as well, I'm pretty sure JW's killing that round was through just flat out smoke as well, just spraying in. So NBK got kind of caught, I think, in the kind of crossfire in that situation, and then that played so well back in towards Fnatic. So let's see what G2 do now. We still have the buy. Everyone's still well set. Looks like a bit of a more default-ish round. Quick play towards middle thus far. Kenny being a bit of a spearhead in this one, up on towards short, seeing if anyone's close by. Crims is down there, but he's on the kind of close side of the double doors. Keeping eyes on that Xbox. He does get the gift of the shadow first, but he can't actually capitalize. It's Mixwell denying that completely. Nicely done to him. Bear in mind, he's only on 10 HP now. That's kind of, you know, hindered what he can do, but he can be traded on and create that chance for the others.
That's the thing. You can play it 2 ways. He can become a lurker, or he can go in first and bait out that shot and maybe just be a free death to gain positioning. I think Apex actually spotted JW. Did a great job of eliminating him in this similar scenario earlier, but they're going to back away for the moment. NBK waiting for any kind of response, any kind of aggression out towards Long. It's Golden once again to be the solo hold. A lot of pressure on Catwalk for G2, but staying mostly silent on the map.
It looks like they don't have much to go on, and it is go time. NBK winning out on Golden means that these 2 players are now in real trouble. JW needs to stay alive. He needs to land the shots, and he's overwhelmed, outgunned, outnumbered, and out of players to back him up. It is looking like a round for G2. It was a little bit touch and go at times, but they stabilized well. They didn't even have much utility to make that hit with, but what they did use worked so perfectly.
That's really well done from G2. And yeah, I mean, obviously finding the timing. Flusha was just going out towards Long, so he only had JW alone at A. And once again, G2's finding the kills on kind of the solo player every time they go to this A bomb site, leaving that rotational player in really awkward spots. Really, really cool to see. This is one of the dangers of the defense for CT sides on this map, is how quickly you can kind of get put out of position just by the play of your opponents. JW again going for a pick. There's the pop flash. Pretty standard on the old dust2. It's come back and do have a large impact here. Good nade onto JW as well. 2 players defending inside B. It is just a round with only pistols for Fnatic. They've pretty much exhausted their economy. Not even just pretty much, they have. Might be a scenario where we just see buys for Fnatic in these last 3 rounds. And actually, if you look at the scoreboard, it's kind of deceiving. There have been a decent amount of gun rounds. G2 on a good run right now, 6-2. Fnatic was able to handle the gun rounds earlier, but they've kind of slipped.
Certainly haven't. Again, Kenny this time. Not going to fall for this one. Pretty sure that's on the checklist too. It is. Apex. Loved having a bit of a tough time out on long. He's loving every kind of entry kill he can get when he walks into those sites. So Mixwell succeeds as well towards Flusher. And JW and Golden kind of left watching as their teammates get dispatched of.
You can see, once G2 gets their mid control, I mean, no matter what strategy it's been, they've either had Mixwell or they've even had NBK doing it, lurking on Catwalk in that middle portion of the map. Just one guy who's there to just read the plays, be patient, and just pick 1 or 2 players off as they come over and try and provide support for their teammates. That's a big kill from JW if Golden's able to salvage the AK-47, which he is, but JW goes down immediately afterwards, and now Golden, not long for this world. That's a really pretty 2-tap. Yeah, right?
Well, finally all those deathmatch hours paying off. No. It's going to be fun to see who really comes out with this one. I think, I hope we get to see more of this in the later end of this tournament. I hope this isn't just the one-off game because the veto process kind of lended to this.
5th map in the grand finals, double overtime, dust2.
Don't tease, Jason, please. Please, Daddy J. Jason, no. Please.
We've gotten there already. It's just
happened.
map 1, yeah.
It's dust2, all right? It gets a little spicy.
Yeah.
You gotta roll it back. Sadly, into this round, however, Fnatic's money is absolutely garbage. Sod all. A flash. I like the way they've actually gone for the flash, though.
Oh.
I like that nade more, however. And they don't even know what they've done, but my God, does it hurt. Sounds like my ex. MBK, Mixwell, all just cleaning things up. It's a comfortable one for G2. They are pretty well set at this point. And yeah, I'm loving this. I'm very surprised how well G2 have come out. Like the first couple of rounds, I was honestly a little worried because it was like, okay, Fnatic look confident. We're seeing them, really controlling. They've seen individuals turn up. But otherwise, this has been very much looking good for G2.
I mean, it's obvious they've put some theory crafting into this. I mean, at this stage in the kind of the life cycle of dust2 coming back, you can't have had a whole lot of practice, especially, oh, here it comes, doing the old Fnatic treatment to him. And it's been a hot minute since we've seen this. 3 ops and an auto sniper just to spam the doors. They get no damage, and they lose body, and they lose Apex. So, speaking of daddies, Lekro is just spanking G2 at the moment. NBK left to recover with Mixwell out towards long. Kenny's going to throw the pop flash. Here comes the hit. We'll see if they can trade their way out, but there's 2 players here. It's Golden and it's JW, but Golden goes down with these. They don't even check the corner. A mistake from G2, and JW's going to feast upon that. Kenny S in a 1 versus 3. Technically a 1 versus 4. Smoke for the cross, flashbang as well. He's going to make it, and he's going to go back for the crack, and he knew exactly where Crims was. Not able to find it quick enough, though, and that's a nice half from G2.
Back for the crack.
I didn't even notice that.
You're an animal.
Either way, that's a good way to go to a break. We'll send it off there, and we'll be right back with the second half.
And welcome back to the group stage-ish. Things are getting a little bit spicier. This is when it gets kind of fun, though. This is the best of threes. This is when we get the big boys coming out to play, and we get Fnatic up against G2. For me, that is a great prospect. And then bear in mind, we are also getting dust2.
Yeah, it's really a throwback, isn't it? I mean, two of the longest standing, most legendary cores of players we've had from both of these respective regions in all of Counter-Strike, and obviously the most legendary map in probably all of competitive gaming. I guess
Turn
you'd
of the
say.
back.
What's that? All right. Well, G2, I think they're going to be happy with how that half turned out, but if you look back to losing a 3-on-1 in the pistol round to Lekr8, that could have been much stronger, obviously putting in some work, at least on their T side. We'll see what they can bring out here for CT on their defensive side of things. We saw occasionally a few rounds where Fnatic kind of defense got picked apart with relative ease, so it very easily could happen here to G2, and actually they're playing a retake onto this bomb site Apex on that ramp, and he's going to hear all this information. He's telling his boys that they all fell back anyways. Here's a mid to B smoke. They wanted to pull that rotator. They've done it. They wanted to put Apex behind this smoke. All they can do is spam through, and it's not happening. Mixwell, one headshot. They're coming through the window. He's not aware of it just yet, trying to wrap around. NBK's there for the crossfire.
They've got to start hitting these shots now, because look at it. It looks like Fnatic is starting to fight back a little, but no, Kenny stops that threat from building. Good work coming in between Mixwell and the others towards B. Mixwell staying alive for a very long time. Such a nuisance player. I thought he might have been a little bit overwhelmed when they started to pour through the window, and he was a little bit kind of pinched. No, he really held his nerve, and I think the storyline with Mixwell is a fun one to kind of look at, considering he was the player that I don't think anyone would have gone, yeah, he'll be in G2. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a kind of weird pickup there, but...
He did just like straight up tweet one day. He's like, I think I'm going to learn French today.
And it's just
and
like,
then I'll join a French team.
huh. All right, fair enough. I mean, we're all up to stuff, but smoke comes in. Does that land? Ooh. Little rusty. It's a little rusty.
Right,
we're getting back to it. But it's not the be-all and end-all. They can still put those pistols to work. Now, of course, the buy sits well with G2 here, and for the G2 fans, that is a lovely way for them to begin this one. Especially in the second half, of course, picking up the first. That normally equates quite nicely into this. I'm wondering how well the CZs work on the T side on this map. There's not as many areas you can utilize them like you can in other maps. It's still quite a elongated map in that regard. That's a nice idea from Golden. You can see them trying to pinch towards middle, but the rifles keeping them all very much at range, and Mixwell wants to back away. You kind of want to stay alive.
I think the CZs eventually will be great on this map. Once you have to have utility with them, right? You need the smokes and the flashbangs to be able to close the gap with those CZs. I think, especially maybe early on in the timeline of dust2, we'll see more deagles here.
Absolutely.
Krems has the potential to do some damage, and that's a nice headshot into Kenny, putting him on notice.
Very nice.
10-7. Apex is hyped.
I'm so glad we have the camera near Apex, because his reactions are literally the best thing ever.
There was that one that got on the Photoshop battles, which was great.
Yeah, it was incredible. Like, the power of the internet then just like came through. It's like that's the good side of the internet. There's good in
It's
there.
the phenomenal side of it.
It was just second to none. Apart from the Creamy Daddy, of course, one of my favorite subreddits too. Creamy Moses. I miss you, Anders. No one
You're the
bullies you
only
quite
one.
like him. But there we go. Bit of a spring and flushes step. He's going to get Apex down. Bit of money made for Apex, but not enough really thus far. Good control from Kenny until the final. Golden and Crim's going to try and capitalize, but the support system is there. They crunch in. They don't allow it to spiral away.
Pretty clean 2 rounds after winning the pistol for G2. A really nice, well-rounded effort from them as well. Apex at 16, but 12 and 13 on Kenny, Mixwell, and NBK. On the Fnatic side of things, I think it's Lekr8 with 18 kills and one other player on 12, and the rest are in single digits, but a really nice effort so far. Yeah, Lekr8 at 12, and actually JW with 18. That came out of nowhere. Actually, he was great with the AWP in the first half. Fair play. Not going to have it this round on that first gun round for Fnatic. A bit heartbreaking considering how impactful he was earlier. We'll see. 3 players towards those upper B tunnels. Going to send 2 down the stairs to help JW gain control of mid. And there's that smoke. It lands this time, which is going to allow him to creep up with the help of his teammates. No one on G2 playing on Catwalk. Nice pop flash out mid. Clear things early on, and this is happening very, very quick. This is cool from Fnatic. They have time to find some things, and maybe not that much time as Kenny starts to get involved. He drops down. He's not going to be punished, but now he's watching mid from far away. That smoke going to block him off, so it's Mixwell who's under pressure next.
Mixwell does need to deliver here, buy time, do something. He's very isolated. They're left on an island over by B, but Golden actually can't do much here. Now that plays Apex into the matter. Good trades come back in. It does mean they lose out on Mixwell, but they've still maintained control. Now Flusher, first man in, first to fall towards B as well. MBK managed to make that spot work, and it's Apex with the shutdown. Great work from G2. Push being controlled everywhere on that map. Good support system in place.
Really sketchy trading, though. I mean, it's kind of Golden creeping out mid with the cover of smoke. Crim's still playing back inside the double door, so when Golden goes down, Crim's just is doing nothing but holding the angle. And then you have a situation, Flusha and Lekro trying to make it into the B bomb site. Flusha has gone far ahead. Lekro is way, way too far behind as he had to stop to pick up the bomb. So just miscues on some of those timings for Fnatic. Makes it look sloppy, and G2 now sitting firmly in the driver's seat. 12-7, all the money advantages, and it's a rush out along, but another great nade from Kenny this time. The Dinks are going to force the players back, but G2, they've got to stand their ground. They have 3 players here. No one retreat, everyone fight, and Apex is going to get 3.
Just stands up tall. Apex not backing away from the fight. The rest of the teammates look a little bit scared at that point. Body's down to 8. Kenny's getting rushed down, but no, Apex is good. Crims now, the 1v5. Deagle armor. Show me what that Deagle can do. Oof, not a lot.
Not a lot at all.
All right, but still, so far I think we've seen the G2 certainly have this in their wheelhouse now. This is the fun thing as well. It sends a message to the rest of the teams, of course. You know, they've played practices. They know who's been kind of like dabbling in it, but you start to work out who's there, right? Who's actually going to be willing to play this.
I mean, for G2, a team that's struggled recently, this is one of the, I think this is a really smart decision if they can add dust2 to the wheelhouse, or they'll be one of the first teams to become really, really good on it. Because, yes, it's dust2, it's been played, obviously, it's kind of just mostly reskinned and brought back into it. But, I mean, if you're going to be one of the first teams comfortable to play with, it can help you give kind of an artificial boost to help out your map pool, at least for a month or two as you kind of get everything else settled in and figured out. Again, another nice nade onto Flusha, using the smoke to get out, and it's so tough to be aggressive. You only have 19 HP. He's hoping to catch one player off guard at this corner, and it almost happens, and it does. He somehow finds the headshot, and he's still alive. Even Body's missed his chance, and now Flusha, he's fighting still at the blue bin, and they're going to wrap on Body. He's got to do it all, and he does. He doubles him up, and somehow Flusha is still surviving.
How is this man alive? A 3v3 begins, and Crim's in a really nice spot to make these rotations uncomfortable for G2, depending on the timing and how he plays it. MBK's on the receiving end of a bit of damage, and that's going to keep them guessing. What about B now? He can just kind of be a nuisance, apply pressure.
G2 needs to make a play. Someone needs to move. They have 1 player in CT spawn, 2 players in mid. Now they're spreading out just a little bit, but, I mean, you're very condensed, you're very centered on the map, but you're not actually able to defend any of the bomb sites. Look at this, Kenny gonna have to play super passively, retake, try and hope he gets a pick. Now, luckily, Fnatic doesn't have a smoke for that cross, but Kenny's got a challenge somewhere. Get some information. Flusha with the double kill at top mid. Now they are gonna move out towards long, so this is an opportunity. JW's picked up a smoke, which is gonna help immensely.
This is very nice. Just that little bit of presence shown from Crims does this, and you can see the positioning now coming out. He's going to get crunched on in towards middle. Mixwell just barges him out the way. Kenny might be denied this. Watch on the cross. Oh, there is a gap in that, but it's Mixwell again to capitalize. It's just down to JW now in a 1v3. And there it is. Mixwell coming through very strong in this round. And you can see that means a lot to the G2 boys. They know what that means for them going forward. It means a hell of a lot.
It's been a while since we've seen some of these smiles and seemingly playing a little bit more loose as we get a timeout from Fnatic. Talk some things over. Our first timeout of this game. Obviously, T-side not going the way they would have liked, and going to be set back a little bit on money as the full losing bonus is there, but not enough results in this T-side. I think they've been blanked, haven't they? I don't think they've got around in the second half.
No, it's been a whitewash. It hasn't looked that close most of the times. We've had a couple of moments where it's like, all right, maybe there's like a chance, but it's mostly been very
We haven't really seen any post plants for Fnatic.
No.
Yeah. Neither of the teams actually, even in the first half, G2 on their T side, there weren't a whole lot of like those clutch like 2-on-2 moments where there was kind of like some of the, you know, we've mentioned a couple times, maybe just a bit rusty on rotations and kind of the feel and the pacing of the map that no one's able to get in a position to really make those plays. 14-7 now, G2 just needing 2 more rounds to take map 1 over Fnatic in this series. And the winner of this will go to the Sydney playoffs. So high stakes here. Fnatic 4 bodies heading up catwalk 1. The lower B tunnels. The Deagle's going to lead the way on Lekr0. This time there's 2 Deagles, not just the CZs, but they do have a lot of nades, a lot of utility. You can set up some pretty cool executes over towards this A bomb site if you're able to. We'll see if they have the smoke lineups there. It almost seems like they don't entirely. Yeah, he's considering it.
Oh. That one pixel.
That's not as cool of a nade as we would have liked, is it? You were hoping for something real fancy.
I would like it to bounce off 4 walls, have a run boost involved somewhere. it's not happened. A high flash to follow, but that's impressive. Lekr0 going to get the Deagle towards Mixwell. That'll do. Flusher finding a little bit of room. The CZ in Flusher's hands. What an iconic duo that is. And desperate to try and claw his way towards the rifle. It's a 2v3 now.
I don't think anyone died on Catwalk. I think Fnatic just made the mistake of not bringing the bomb with them. Yeah, that's a nightmare. Yeah, 3-on-2. That was a great round for Fnatic up until this point. Kenny, nade in his hand, gets caught. 1-on-1 for Lekr0.
This could be such a commanding round for Fnatic. They desperately need it too. This has been the G2 whitewash, but 30 seconds, how much can Lekr0 achieve here? The bomb left up on Cat. It looks like Body's unsure or unaware of this being the case because they just simply haven't had players pushing out. So
that's why I was wondering if someone had dropped it or if there was a kill that happened in that position, because G2 obviously had no idea when they were rotating into those lower tunnels. They would have never done that if they knew the bomb was just casually chilling at that corner. Lekr0's going to get the plant. We were just saying we were missing out on some of these clutch opportunities in the post plants. Well, we've got one now.
dust2 always seems to give us quite the show when it comes to this. To deny G2 getting towards map point, bear in mind 15, it's a best of 3. Lekr0 is the man in the way. Can he shatter the dreams? He does get a glimpse, and that might be all he needs. He goes for the 1 tap, the 2, and that is what he wants. Brilliant accuracy coming out from Lekr0. This guy, it looks like he wants to make it this map on his own. He's doing so nicely, but that again is a very small start.
It's also one of those rounds where it feels like Fnatic, somehow find benefit out of making that mistake of leaving the bomb that far back.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, and it ends up helping them out in the long run. You can't rely on that, obviously, too frequently. 4 ops on the board. Mixwell, Kenny, JW, and Flusha. Mixwell wants to challenge. Not all the way deep to the top mid. He just wants to hold for someone to head over towards the old green boxes. Not happening. Smoke now in the box as well to allow a pathway towards Catwalk. No spam coming in. You can see Crims pre-firing the angle. Him and Golden butted up together to take control of this stairwell. Or staircase.
Stairwell, Mixwell, it's all...
It's not really a stairwell though, is it?
No. I was going to try and help you. Like, I'm really trying to be a nice person, Jason, all right? New map, new me sort of thing. Crims up towards short. It's Apex on the other side of that smoke. Molotov in towards the site. How G2 kind of deal with this. Obviously, you're always so tentative when you're trying to use utility on this map. You don't want to expend it for no reason. Body now, the flood begins towards long. Completely whiffs that one out, but it's Kenny Yes. Staying large and in charge there, keeps them very much at arm's length. No way to break in easily for Fnatic. They're still looking for that opportune moment to springboard off, and it's JW. That's the big hit. Now that isolates Kenny. He goes down, and it crumbles so quickly. It's the House of Cards effect. They all fall apart. MBK and Mixwell are here, but they're not getting away with this. Or are they?
Oh, there's a pop flash. Oh, MBK would have loved to have gone with that. It's not going to happen. He gets blinded. It's Mixwell alone, 1 versus 3. House of Cards is a nice way to put it, as that defense really gets 2 players in that A bomb site. That's been a disaster since time began on this map, and not able to evacuate out of that setup quick enough. Just getting pinched, and you can obviously see there's not enough space for 2 players to coexist in that bomb site, and just flushes 1 player out into the crosshairs at JW. Another timeout coming down, and G2 talking some things over. Still some rounds to play with, but you obviously never, ever, ever want to let Fnatic within striking distance. If you have this kind of a lead at 14-7, you obviously need to close that out ASAP.
Very true. We all remember the Fnatic comebacks. We remember these stupid things that used to happen when dust2 was very much in the map pool. It's a different lineup. It's a different time. Still terrifying.
Yeah. Still scary. Still nightmares.
It literally was those things where you're sat there like, all right, game's almost over, right? This team's got it. You can see them getting confident. They're like, going through motions, and then timeout gets caught. It's like, oh.
Here we go again.
Here it comes.
Buckle in.
Yeah, the Mr. Bones and his wild ride is about to happen apparently, but double AWP T side. This is fun. This is... Again, dust2 allows so many opportune moments for these sort of very creative approaches. Crims actually got way ahead of where they expected. Body completely off guard. And another to follow. Apex tries to stem the bleed before it got away from them, but not to be the case. Can't be quarterized this time. A 5v3 begins, and G2 left on the back foot here.
I'm wondering how Crims got out that deep, that far, without them realizing it. Maybe they paused to throw some nades. Maybe the timing was just in his favor that much. Either way, G2 essentially crippled in this round from those opening 2 kills. How do you come back? This is where you really, really need Kenny to have some kind of a big performance if you want to make a return and fight for this round. But with so much time and such a big player lead, I mean, you almost force Kenny into making an aggressive play, and that's why you see Fnatic hitting this pause button. JW is just waiting for this peak. He's praying. He would love for Kenny to take that fight, and it's not happening just yet. There's the flashbang. Kenny not going with it as well. Smoke to make Fnatic question. G2's got to find a way to condense. NBK worried about a late B hit. It's going to stay in the bomb site. Mixwell in middle. He can rotate quickly to each one of the sites, but they've got to provide an opportunity. It's not going to happen. G2 is going to control mid. Kenny S going to rotate back. A chance to get him on the cross if he can make it in time. They're all out in the open. Not expecting that. An immediate headshot from Crims. NBK and Mixwell just have to save. I think Mixwell is going to come try and get this AWP, but I'm not even sure it's worth it. It's too far into the open.
G2 might be left reeling after this if you start seeing Fnatic claw it back, but good work from Mixwell, denying anyone taking that AWP out of his hands. But hopefully, last couple of rounds, we'll see G2 anything other than dejected. They can bound back and we start seeing them looking strong as they were. But good to see a life, a bit of life in Fnatic. They felt flat throughout the early stages of this game. We didn't see plants, we didn't see clutch potential, we didn't see those good trading coming out, or the good trading coming out. It felt very much G2's dominant. So this is a nice bit of kind of resurgence from Fnatic.
It's one of the things that's always made them so difficult to put away is when you think about it, for a team that likes getting players in position to just kind of go for the aggressive individual style. When you're winning and everything's great, you feel confident to make those crazy plays. When you're losing big and everything seems lost, you've got nothing more to lose, you're going to start making those plays as well. And both of those scenarios now, Fnatic, if you let them back into that, if you give them this breath of life down the stretch, they're going to be dangerous, and they're able to grind these out. And they almost have G2. You can see this is smart from the French side. The conservative use of their economy. As the losing bonus builds up, you do not want to be reset too harshly at this stage in the game. So buying some pistols to have an element of danger surrounding the rifles that you saved. And Flush is going to be the first one up. He's obviously going to find the entry with the UMP. Kenny's going to shut him down, and Lekro should back away.
Through the flames as well. That's so hard to see, but he still just bangs out the shot. But look where everyone else is. That one bit of show of a leg, and they all go chasing it. I don't blame them.
The old run away from Kenny strategy.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
It's a known piece, but Apex up on the boost, hopes for a quick headshot, doesn't get it, and Body gonna upgrade and back away, as really you're not gonna get much out of this one unless that happens. Now, a quick start on this retake could at least get another gun into play, give them more things to kind of maybe play with going forward. I
think they're going to save, obviously. He's going to transfer that AK-47 over. I mean, the 3-on-3, the bomb just went down. They had an opportunity to go for that if they wanted. But obviously wanting to save these weapons, keep the AWP alive, don't have to rebuy that. You transition an AK over because someone's going to need to drop for Apex. And all of a sudden, the next round, you're going to have another very, very strong buy coming out for G2. So this is a pretty well-played round in terms of their decision with the economy, the decision to save here down the stretch. 14-11, Fnatic fighting back in this opening map of the series here at IEM Sydney.
Sound effects. Look, it's my first coffee of the day. All right,
all right, yeah.
First time I get to see dust2. Got my coffee.
Everyone's got a little crazy.
This is what impressed me. Like, through the fire, look how hard this shot is to even see. And it's just... unless he's got those dodgy smoke and the old dodgy flames going on.
Yeah.
I am kidding. But it's always impressive to see that. Now, we do have a tactical pause coming in for Fnatic. I guess you don't want to let too much get away from you.
We do a little bit of a B-stream update here during the tactical pause.
Third map between Cloud9 and Order.
Yeah, hot off the presses. It's tied up 11-11. Elimination match between Cloud9 and Order.
Jason, talk to me. How's that feeling?
Pretty good. I had a little bit of a banter session with the Australian commentators early on.
Yeah, there was.
They were very all high and mighty after map 1. Cloud9 came back and spanked them on map 2, so everything's not quite returning to normal, but
Look, you had your time in the sun.
We had
That's
our major.
Problem, right?
That's about all we
You've
did.
had your major. you can't be abused anymore, right? It's like you can't just be like North American CS, you know? Like we're back to the UK CS level, you know? Like you
That's
just
a
gotta.
good point.
Exactly.
UK CS is always going to be a good fun.
Exactly. Like Smooth is our one hope, and he's essentially joined a German roster. And he's just shouting at players now. Yeah.
Shout out config, which is never a good thing.
I want to see him fight. Like just throw him in there. Just get him in the ring. Anyway, we are back underway. 14-11. Body with a lot of players in front of him. Flashed up. One by one they come, and one by one they fall. Body, I thought he had that in the bag. Crims stays alive on the thinnest margins, 15 HP by his name. But what a play to start out for G2. That is how you want this to come back in.
Yeah, props to Body, but a big shout out to my man Apex. That's a great counter flashbang, and Kenny just burning. And again, Apex with the support. The smoke comes in. Kenny's entirely confident he's going to bail him out. That's two good pieces of utility for Apex. The counter flash allows Body to get those double kills without it, maybe just one and done. MBK looked like he wanted to push mid, but he calls it off as there's no more pressure out towards long, so he's just going to get an even better spot. Actually, this is risky. Does he find the timing? He's got to start walking soon. Now he hears the footsteps, the jump. They haven't heard anything yet. They maybe think it's their teammate, and MBK gets one. That's the bomb down. Crimson's got to go back for it. 15 HP. That was on a knife's edge, but it comes out on top for MBK.
Yeah, it does. And Crims, I think he knows his opportunities are numbered. Lovely shot on Kenny, but a better one in return. Good work coming out there. All said and done. This is, I thought we might see the classic Fnatic comeback. It's like we're getting treated to all like the classics, right? Everything's thrown back. There's
I would have
human
even taken bonus
reactions.
rounds on this, you know?
I would take bonus rounds on this too. If you're not sure what that means, it's overtime. But we like to call them bonus rounds. We're positive people out here.
Overtime does have a very, it just seems negative.
It does a little bit. But bonus rounds, you're like, damn, yeah, free
Everyone loves
rounds.
bonus.
Everyone loves like a little bit extra. Flusher, you doing it? Oh, the BDP. Flusher, are you Oh, no, Mixwell. No, 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 no. No. I guess you don't expect someone to come trotting up middle. It's like, has he disconnected? Is that just like the bot running straight up mid? No. It's a very dangerous man. MBK. Kind of baffled as to what the hell has happened. Fnatic have just gone full off the leash. They've just taken their collars off and they're going for a run right now. And if you're a G2, you're a little baffled as to what the hell is happening because they are winning this one out as well. Fnatic are doing so good in this, and Kenny is left just baffled.
So is Mixwell. He's been wondering where his bullets went. That's what I'm talking about, though. Fnatic on the verge of defeat, and it's just, all right, I'm just going to run down mid. I'm not even going to check corners. He's just going to run straight and makes it work somehow. There goes Kenny. Due to the pistol, Flusher with a little bit of a cheeky smile on his face.
Oh.
Nice play, bro.
God damn.
Fnatic still
You'd
in this.
be livid, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would be. 12-15. It's only Mixwell and Apex with any kind of cash in the bank. And another timeout. You can see how much this means to G2. They're using a lot of timeouts down the stretch. They've been in the lead pretty much the whole way. At one point, blanking Fnatic in the second half, and they've used, what, 2 timeouts, I believe? By that graphic, the other one said 3, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on anymore.
Counting. You either trust production or you trust your own math ability, and I trust neither of those things. So
only one left.
One left.
Word, yep.
Okay. Fair play. But I just love that was the most purely Fnatic round I've seen in a long time. You know?
It is
like
good
the straight
returning
up,
to that.
I'm charging middle. It's like you're just telling like JW, all right, just watch the doors so they can't peek. Absolutely love it. Golden's got a spawn.
He's got a spawn and a half, but J2 has got the double up setup out again. We're back.
Golden.
The power
Is it-
setup.
is it
Kenny and
time?
Mixwell.
Is it time, Golden? Are you gonna rush B? Oh, Mixwell's just absolutely got revenge. There it is, categorically. He is going to be grinning ear to ear for that one. And Golden's going walkabout, so flash through the smoke. MBK turns it. Back around we go, and that could have been big. But with the SMGs, it's tricky to make it work. The 5-7. A rather curious character we don't see all that often.
Look at Kenny, though. He's on a quick flank. Crims is about to go down. Actually, no, there's smoke in his face, and Kenny's got the op out. Now he's waiting.
What?
He misses the quick shot. Doesn't take his time, and it's given up the play. Now he's boxed in. One player coming from T-spawn, and Kenny in an awkward position. So uncomfortable at the moment. Golden, though, another smoke in his face. The bomb is going to get planted, and this has gotten real hectic.
No utility on the CT side. This is down to brute force coming back in. JW stands tall for 1. He needs to do a lot more now. A 1v3. He's already got 1 in the bag. He has to defend the plant somehow. Molotov goes in. He's going to try and get around it. You could see the intent, but he couldn't make it count. A great idea, but a better play for G2 in the end. And that is a way to welcome back dust2. A fun matchup between these two, and what a way to see this game start.
You can see some of the rush. You can see they're not quite used to it just yet. Not a whole lot of playtime on the map, just theory crafting. Either way, G2 claw out the victory, survive a Fnatic comeback, and they're going to take map 1. So we're going to head to a break. We're going to hear from the analysts when we return, and then we'll continue on with the battle.
All eyes are on you. So give them greatness with Intel Extreme Masters certified PCs and notebooks and game like the pros. When you see the unique IEM certified stickers on the outside, you'll find high-grade components with Intel Core i5 and i7 processors inside. Every purchase includes in-game content and supports the prize pool of Intel Extreme Masters. Game like a pro, because the world is watching.
Red Bull gives you wings.